as with any relationship, one of the biggest keys is communication. So a lot of those same principles definitely carry over. It's listening to the other person, which also means knowing how to ask good questions and practicing asking good questions. A lot of times I like to ask, how do you want this to feel? As opposed to just what do you want me to do or what. So you can ask other questions too, but oftentimes they start getting in the nitty gritty of like use this specific settings, blah blah blah, and those can be fine. And they might be even right, but to me, part of effective and being creative, those two pieces of it, it's helpful for me to know bigger picture what they're looking for, and then it also helps me make smaller decisions in line with what they're looking for. So that's being able to listen and ask questions. The second one I think would be um, would be to be willing to try things and to not be afraid to try stuff. Not always just play it safe. So being part of listening and hearing, and then trying something that may not work. If you're worried about looking bad to whoever it is you're working with, to me that's not very effective. There needs to be a safe place to try some things, which I guess the key to being able to do that is often having a backup plan. If it's not working, you have something you can fall back on, um, which is then enables you to be willing to step out and risk something. And you have to know your parameters. How long can you risk it? How much money can you risk in it before you have to step back and go, you know what, let's go for something different. But if you're always playing it safe, um, that to me is not effective. And you're not pushing yourself creatively. The third one would be understanding that tension is an inherent element of a creative collaboration. Um, if you're trying to work with someone else in a creative endeavor, there's going to be disagreement. There's going to be moments where you don't see eye to eye, or you're out of time, or you're out of money, or any of these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of times people want to always be friendly and nice, and I'm not saying you have to be mean and angry and throw headsets on the ground either. But there's always more to do than the limitations allow you to do. And learning how to, again, so then it comes back to being able to listen and ask good questions helps you process through those moments better. And also then again, all of these things stack together. But if if you're expecting to just go in and have fun, you'll be um, very surprised, and probably have some hard situations that you weren't obviously then expecting. I think back through scenarios where things did not go well, or I didn't respond well. Um, it was a failure, and a lot of times the listening and understanding what my responsibilities even were. So I guess that would be another piece of it. Um, Maybe I'll add a fourth one. To have an effective collaboration, you need to know what your role is, and what is your job to carry, and what's their job to carry. And talk through those things ahead of time. I'm not saying again that you can't help each other, but at the end of the day, when you're running out of time, you got to know who's in charge of what and what they're supposed to focus on. That's very, very helpful. Um, so it's okay to not agree, to push each other, to it's someone said the clearest water is clearest when it's forced through rock. There's a filtering process that's refining. It helps you get to the essence of what you're trying to make and create, of what they're trying to do. And that's a good thing. See those as a good thing, helping you make something that's even better. Um, don't let it harm relationships personally in the process. Don't say things you'll regret. Try to keep the emotions down. Focus on the task at hand. Don't blame people personally. Instead of saying, well, how can we solve this? It's a group problem because it's a group project. or a team or whatever you want to call it. It's not a you versus me trying to get this done. You need to see each other on the same team. Again, this is basic relationship stuff that applies outside of filmmaking stuff as well. But you've got to be able to see that you're in it together and the other person's not the enemy. And if they are trying to drag down the project or process, well, then you need to have another hard conversation. But if you're going into a collaboration with some of these things in mind, it can help weed out the people that aren't going to get along with some of these areas or just aren't a good fit for you, and different people and personalities click better than others. There are people that I don't get along with that get along with great with other friends or people, and that's okay. That's great. It's, whoever the team needs to be to get the work done. So those would be a few of the things that I think are very helpful, that I found helpful in creative collaborations that I've been a part of.